Okay, guys, we'll talk about the division that's, one of the best divisions, one of the best leagues in all of the country, definitely the state. That is the Trinity League, and I'm looking at the schedule this week, guys, and I'm like, pick a game. They are all so good. Just looking at it, we have Bosco visiting Servite. We have Orange Lutheran versus J. Sarah. Santa Margarita at Mater Dei. Man, I don't know. Which game is the best one, Steve, and what do you like out of these matchups?
I think, and Dan's going to agree with me, I think Lutheran J. Sarah is the most evenly matched of those two games. I think Mater Dei's offense is just about invincible right now. Margarita's offense has picked it up lately, too, since that early season loss to Mission Viejo. Servite, boy, they got their hands full against Bosco. That's going to be a tough one for Servite, but Servite certainly shows that they can play with anybody when that 1-point loss to De La Salle a few weeks back. But Lutheran, J. Sarah, man, that's a coin flip game for me.
Yeah. Were you at the Mater Dei versus Edison game, Dan?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So you saw JT Daniels throw for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns passing. We got Steve's thoughts on the Trinity League. We all know you have a weekly podcast on the Trinity League. Make sure to follow Dan on that one. What are your thoughts on all the matchups this week? Because, man, every game in this league is going to be fun.
Well, thanks for the plug, Jonathan.
Oh, no doubt about it. My check's in the mail, right?
Yeah. My partner, Scott Barajas, we've been doing our second year, so you can follow that on my Twitter. But, I got to have a sneaky suspicion about that Servite Bosco game. I think, like Fryer mentioned, I think Servite proved that they can play up to the competition. And Servite's getting another receiver cornerback back by Trent McDuffie. Is a sophomore, played lower levels at Mater Dei, but it's a pretty well-regarded kid. I agree that the Olu, J. Sarah game should be outstanding. J. Sarah is very scrappy.
Okay, we could probably talk all day about the Trinity League. That's how deep it is. But we want to talk about some other leagues. Right now, the Freeway League. The Freeway League is, they had a pretty good preseason, fellas.
Yeah.
You had Buena Park, Sunny Hills, and Troy all at 4-1. Fullerton at 3-2. La Habra, which we all kind of consider the best team in the Freeway League, they were 2-3, but they had the toughest schedule. Your overall thoughts on the Freeway League?
So competitive. It's a great league, district league. I think, Troy's an interesting team where they only have the one loss against Yorba Linda. They've been showing up in my top 25. So I'm pretty interested to see, Josiah Norwood against, La Habra. So I think that's interesting. And, Fullerton, I think I have them 25 this week in my OC top 25. There's a lot of depth in this league. I think it's going to be pretty competitive. I saw Buena Park loss at St. Francis last week, and Coyotes looked pretty good. They were minus Jeremiah Hawkins, but I think Buena Park and La Habra are still 1-2 in that league.
Yeah, you mentioned Josiah Norwood, and he may return next week because last week he was actually spelled by a junior quarterback who did really well for Troy. Steve, your overall thoughts on the Freeway League, and don't forget about the Lancers. Alex Jung had 200 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Make sure I throw my Lancers in there, Steve.
Yeah, alma mater speaking there. Yeah, I think it's a better league. Sonora had the big run last year, and they're kind of struggling. They're down this year. Not everybody stays on top consistent like La Habra's done and Buena Park's been able to do the last couple of years, but it's still La Habra's championship to lose. Not very thrilled about Buena Park's schedule. St. Francis was the first team above 500 they played, so I think the jury's still out on Buena Park. Troy's tough, Fullerton's tough. Sunny Hills got the running back, so yeah, it's a good league.
Yeah, I think so too. All right.
Costello is running well. Costello at Sunny Hills as well.
Yeah, there we go. And let's finish it up, guys, with the South Coast League. We all know Mission Viejo is really the elite team. I believe they are at Tesoro this week, 4-2 Tesoro. Mission Viejo last beat El Toro 55-14. Austin Osborne went off, like you said. What is there to say about the South Coast League and maybe omitting Mission? What do we know about it?
Well, jeepers, San Clemente's kind of been playing like some San Diego schools. We don't know a lot about them yet. We know about Jack Sears being really well. They're still in the top 10, around 7 or 8. So I guess they're still the top challenge to Mission. But Mission looks, heads and tails above everybody, head and shoulders above everybody in that league. Tesoro's good. They lost Monster and a good senior class, but still hanging in there pretty good. So I like those two teams. San Clemente Tesoro to me is really the best game that's going to be in that league this year.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome game. I caught the Tritons beat Huntington Beach, so I know they have a good squad. And Jack Sears, come on now, you're talking about a league. Oh yeah, they're all good over there. Yeah, and I agree with Steve. That game should be dynamite.
Well, I got a sleeper what you guys did not mention right there. You got to in South Coast League. You got to watch out for San Juan Hills.
Oh yeah, I saw them too. That's right.
They're 4-1. They played Edison tough. They're coming off a good victory last week, and I actually think they're on the rise. They're the team for me that's knocking on the top 10. San Clemente's had a rough go. They had a real tough time at La Mirada. La Mirada's excellent, but that thing was out of control at halftime. They've lost Isaac Rex for a big part of the year. They're hoping to get him back, Coach Ortiz says, but they're fine tight end, linebacker, defensive end type guy. So they need all the help they can get on defense. That's been the key. But you got to watch out for San Juan Hills rising up and maybe trying to get that second place. I think San Clemente's gonna have to improve on defense.
Sam Darnold, though.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, are we surprised?
No, we're not. All right, thanks to Dan Albano. Thanks to Steve Fryer. I'm Jonathan Khamis. These guys got to run because they have stories to write. I have editing to do. Until next week, thank you for watching, and make sure to check out OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.